Jill Duggar Dillard is at last disclosing the cause of her daughter Isla Marie's death. She and Derek were planned for their first daughter to arrive in August 2024. Tragically, Isla died at the young age of 4 months. Is that the cause of this? For more details, continue reading. Every one of the Duggar women has personal experience with the heartbreaking loss of a child. Some of the sisters talked about how they dealt with loss and grief, but they mostly talked about the resilience that kept them going. Jill Duggar Dillard and her husband, Derek, have 3 sons together: Israel David, Samuel Scott, and Frederick Michael. Sadly, they couldn't expand their already large family by having a daughter. They mourned Isla Marie's passing for a while since it was so terrible. Jill is now talking about her daughter's death at a time when her kids should have been celebrating her first birthday. She created a small reel with pictures of her daughter's graveyard and her son's graveyard. Jill gave Isla an explanation of why her baby had to be stillborn in it. According to the mom of 3, they concluded that the most likely cause was a fluke subchorionic hematoma/hemorrhage that wasn't detected until later, so nothing likely would have changed things. Extensive testing failed to provide any relief for the woman. Jill Duggar Dillard talked about how they would have been wonderful brothers and how she loved the time she had to carry her daughter. Those 4 months were perfect for her, despite their short duration. In order for others to realize they were not alone, the former reality star felt obligated to share her tale. Deeper down, she wanted to create a community of support and raise awareness of the problem of pregnancy loss. Jill Duggar Dillard received an amazing amount of love from her followers and fans. Praying for you, Jill, and sending you the biggest virtual hug. Even Married at First Sight alum Jamie Otis, who has experienced the same thing, was incredibly encouraging. Others who followed them also told similar and relevant stories. They appreciated how candidly Jill addressed the matter, making it seem normal rather than stigmatized. Thank you for discussing it. Over the course of 9 years, I experienced 4 losses as a result of secondary reproductive issues. Having 3 children makes me proud. The pain that hides knowledge from all of us. My daughter was born at 18 weeks. December marks her 15th birthday. Jill Duggar Dillard's candor will hopefully help many other moms and families who are struggling. A member of the well-known Duggar family, Jill Duggar Dillard has been in the public eye for a long time because of her participation in the reality TV program 19 Kids and Counting. Under the leadership of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, the Duggar family gained notoriety for their numerous media appearances, huge family, and devout Christian beliefs. But because of the numerous personal detours in her life, Jill Duggar has occasionally withdrawn from the spotlight. When she and her husband, Derek Dillard, lost their second child, a daughter, it was one of the most devastating periods of her life. Jill had been silent for years about the specifics of her daughter's terrible death, but she suddenly broke her silence and told her followers the cause of her daughter's death in an emotional and open post. In addition to generating a wave of fan support, this revelation has brought attention to the grief that many parents endure but rarely discuss. Here, we'll go deeply into Jill Duggar's life story, the devastating loss she and her family experienced, and the effects it had on them. The Duggars. A life in the public eye. The TLC program 19 Kids and Counting, which followed Jim Bob, Michelle, and their 19 children on a daily basis for 10 years, was the first to bring the Duggar family to the notice of the public. The episode focused on the family's huge family dynamic, homeschooling methods, and strong Christian beliefs. Because of her kind and compassionate nature, Jill Duggar, one of the eldest daughters, won over many fans. They watched as she matured from a small child into a lady and then a mother. In 2014, Jill finally wed Derek Dillard, and the two of them soon rose to prominence as one of the Duggar family's favorite couples. Their family appeared to be doing well, and they produced 2 sons together, Israel and Samuel. However, when they revealed that they had suffered a miscarriage in 2021, their journey took an unanticipated and terrible turn. With multiple pregnancies and babies featured on their TV show, the Duggar family had frequently presented themselves as a model of fertility. So many fans were taken aback by the news. There were concerns about Jill and Derek's emotional health, and how they were handling the loss after the miscarriage and their decision to temporarily withdraw from the public eye. Their daughter's devastating death. Derek Dillard and Jill Duggar revealed the heartbreaking news of the death of their second child, a daughter, in 2021. Tragically, the couple's hopes of raising a daughter together were dashed, despite their excitement to welcome a daughter into their expanding family. Despite sharing certain details of their daughter's passing at the time, Jill and Derek decided to keep the details confidential, claiming that they were grieving and dealing with the loss in their own manner. For a long time, fans were only aware that Jill had experienced the emotional toll that a miscarriage had put on her. As time went on, Jill concentrated on becoming a mother to her two sons, and the Duggars mostly kept quiet about the circumstances of the loss. It made sense for Jill to choose to keep some parts of her sadness secret because she was probably dealing with the difficult feelings of mourning and loss. However, Jill just shared more information about what transpired and the reason behind her daughter's death in a poignant social media post. Jill's disclosure. The reason behind her daughter's demise. A rare but deadly birth abnormality known as anencephaly is the cause of her daughter's death, Jill Duggar disclosed in an open and heartfelt post to her followers. When the brain and skull do not develop normally, it is called anencephaly, and the baby dies before or soon after delivery. Due to the severity of the disorder, babies with anencephaly usually die soon after birth or are stillborn. During an ultrasound, Jill revealed that she and Derek had received the heartbreaking news of their daughter's illness. After learning that their unborn child had no chance of surviving, Jill was faced with the devastating choice of bringing her daughter to term despite her prognosis. In order to give their daughter the best chance at life, even if it was only for a short time, the couple chose to go on with the pregnancy. For the remainder of the pregnancy, they held their daughter close to their hearts and decided to name her Annabelle. It was really brave of Jill to decide to make the public aware of this very private and devastating truth. In addition to honoring her daughter's memory, she brought attention to a condition that many people are unaware of by disclosing the cause of her death. Given the emotional burden of revisiting such a traumatic event, sharing the story was probably not an easy option. However, Jill made the decision to speak up, partly to support other parents who might have experienced comparable losses and to dispel the shame associated with infant loss and miscarriage. The effects on Jill and Derek's emotions. The disclosure of Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard's daughter's death has surely had a significant effect on their emotional health. The couple's candor about their grief has illuminated the unseen hardships that many families endure in secret. Parenting after miscarriage and infant loss may be extremely challenging. Jill found that talking about her experience helped her deal with the loss of her daughter and make connections with people who had experienced similar suffering. Derek and Jill have both previously discussed their faith, and it is evident that their religious convictions have been a significant source of support during this trying time. Jill wrote in her essay that she had been able to deal with the loss and go on because of her trust in God. Even though the agony of losing a child never completely goes away, Jill and Derek have been able to find peace and continue to recover because of their everlasting faith. As she urged those who have lost loved ones to rely on their faith, family, and support networks in trying times, Jill's message was one of both grief and optimism. Hearing Jill's story has served as a crucial reminder to many that it's acceptable to grieve and that no one needs to experience the anguish of loss alone. The fan outpouring of support. Fans, relatives, and other parents who have experienced similar things have showered Jill Duggar with support since her heartfelt disclosure. Many admirers have contacted her to thank her for sharing her tale and to offer their sympathies. Many individuals have expressed their respect for Jill's courage in sharing such a personal and heartbreaking situation, and the comments have been overwhelmingly favorable. Jill's words have been especially consoling to many parents who have lost a baby. Her readiness to express her sorrow has contributed to the destigmatization of miscarriage and given those who might be mourning privately a sense of support. Jill's disclosure is all the more powerful because of the way her vulnerability has made others feel heard and noticed. Increasing awareness. Annabelle's love legacy. Even though Jill Duggar will always feel the anguish of losing her daughter, she has been able to meaningfully honor her memory by disclosing the reason behind Annabelle's passing. Jill has utilized her position to shed light on an often ignored or misunderstood subject by educating people about anencephaly and the challenging choices parents must make when given this diagnosis. Her choice to talk about her loss is also evidence of the therapeutic value of telling one's tale. Although grieving parents frequently feel alone, Jill's candor has demonstrated that vulnerability can be a strength. She has allowed others to grieve and recover at their own pace by sharing her suffering, which has led to a cascade of understanding and support. For her daughter Annabelle, Jill's message of optimism and fortitude in the face of unfathomable grief will surely have a lasting impression. Even though Annabelle was only here for a short while, her existence has already had a significant influence on her family and the innumerable people who have been moved by Jill's tale.